Hey guys, Brad here from Atlas Target Works. I'm out at Ken Nordstrom's today, and it was basically an unveiling of a brand new product that Ken hasn't seen yet, but has been involved in the designing of it. So this right here is my current Coyote. It's 12 by 24 inches overall dimensions, and that is because that is the biggest I can fit inside of a Postal Service flat rate box. So Ken wanted something that was exactly true to life, that he could practice with, have fun with out on the range, and just get some good training on for his winter coyote hunting. And so he approached me a year or so ago. I've been procrastinating on the project for a while, but he gave me these dimensions. And why don't you go ahead and explain, both of these are to his dimensions, the front facing coyote and then a side profile. They can be mounted, they can be hung with one of my AR500 gong hanging kits, this one as well, through these two holes. You can hang them with your own chain however you want, or you can put these legs on them that I've got showing them on this one here. So why don't you tell us how you came to get these dimensions and what exactly everything is, Ken?
Okay, so my brother and I started coyote hunting back in the 1980s, and then we really got into the tournament hunting. But anyways, we were hitting coyotes and they would go down, but then they would get right back up and take off, and it'd be hard to find them. And in tournaments, you want to just go there, shoot them, pick them up, go to the next stand, and so on. So basically what we started doing back in the 90s was every coyote that we had shot, we measured them fur on and fur off to just get their dimensions, and then take the average of them and where the placements of the shots were that we took, and how they ended up dying. So the numbers that we got were basically 18 inches. Coyotes measure 18 inches from the shoulder to his butt, or 18 inches. From the bottom of his chest to the top of his ears when he's looking at you is 18 inches. And from the ground to the top of his back is around 18 to 20 inches, depending on the size of the coyote. So you have three ways of measuring them. And back in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have the expensive range finders, all the gizmos and stuff like that. So we basically had scopes with stadia lines in them, so we could actually mill coyotes at those 18-inch measurements, and they were pretty accurate. So basically this coyote here is a good sized South Dakota coyote. He measures, fur on is basically around 12 inches. 11 to 12 inches of fur is what this coyote measures. So basically, fur off, this coyote, which is basically the same size coyote, is basically 6.5 to 7 inches of kill zone from the behind his shoulder into that 6-7 inch circle is what kills the coyote. So basically you're adding 5 more inches of fur onto this coyote, which is a hit or miss on that coyote. Anything behind that 6-7 inches, you're getting into their guts and stuff like that, which doesn't kill them. They just run off. It's hard to find them and stuff like that.
Well, it'll kill them, just not where you want to find them at.
Or if you find them at all.
If you find them at all, yeah.
Find them at all. So that's how we got these numbers to transfer to steel. That's why they're positioned where they're positioned, is because a coyote with fur on is 10, 11, 12 inches of fur, which looks huge, but you take his coat off him, there's nothing that big to kill. It's 6-7 inch circle, and that's it.
Yeah.
The rest is fluff.
Yeah, their furs are sought after for a reason.
Right.
Nice and thick.
So that's where we came up with this number on these coyotes. So you basically have, your 6.5, 6-7 inch kill zone. The rest is fur. I shot this coyote target earlier today, and he was at 215, 220 yards, and that's where I hit. Just because I hit the steel doesn't mean I get the coyote. That's fur. He's gone. I burned him, and he probably won't come back to the call for a while, if at all. But this coyote was running, and I did not get him. I have to hit this to get him. That's why I want to show fur on, fur off. That's why these targets are made the way they're made.
And one of the things that you talked to me about when we were getting the design set up was that this vital is going to favor the top of the steel because gravity is going to cause them their fur and their skin to hang down further underneath than it is up top.
Fur hangs down, their back lays flat. It lays down when they're moving. That's why the design of the target. So that would be that coyote. Even though I hit steel, you're like, oh yeah, I hit him, but in reality, you missed him. He's not even hurt. He's gone. So basically the same with the facing coyotes. The kill zone on this coyote is 3.5 inches. And the reason we're going to do that is, if you look at a coyote facing you, this one's kind of ate up a little bit, but anyways, you know, there's 3-inch circle in his chest, and then once you get out to the outside, you're getting to that 3.5 inch, which is shoulder, which you're going to hit him, but he's still going to run away off of 3 legs because you didn't get into his vitals. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of this circle. It fits inside here, and then the outside is his shoulders. And so basically, a coyote's neck, skin off, is 2 to 2.5 inches of meat. So anything above this circle, you have 2.5 inches to hit. If you don't hit their backbone or their arteries, you still don't get them. It'll blow through the windpipe, blow fur right out their back, and it'll drop like you got them. You go to the next coyote, you turn back on this coyote, he's up and running. You have to either hit their arteries or their backbone, because 2.5 inches of meat is not much to hit. Mm-mm. So you have to get into that circle, into their chest cavity. That's the design of that. So really, and you say it's kind of wide here, it's 7 to 8 inches wide, but if you look at a coyote with fur on, in his neck area, you're in that 6, 7, 8 inches of fur. But and the skin coyote will actually show that there's only 2.5 inches of meat, backbone, and arteries. Yeah. So it's all fur.
That's a very significant difference there.
Right. So when people say, oh man, the coyotes are huge, but in reality, they're not. Yeah. You take their coat off them, there's really not much there. No. That's the design of these coyotes. And it took years and years of measuring coyotes to come up with these designs. The dimensions. So they could be off an inch here or there, depending on the time of year. If you're shooting pups in the spring and summer, you know, smaller coyotes maybe down south, way down south, but in reality they're pretty close. They're pretty close.
So we're going to go set these up downrange out to 250-ish yards or 275 yards. We're going to set these up, get some video of them in action so you can see what it looks like with the vital flappers and everything going. So we'll go get that set up. Yep. All right. Okay. All right, Ken, so we're set up here at 140 yards for the first 2 targets that we're going to engage. You mentioned that you wanted to talk about your rifle a little bit, so give us a rundown on what you're shooting. So basically, what are you wearing?
This is basically my hunting setup for either thermal or day hunting. I got 2 Betts tripod, this is the no-name tripod, which is light, pretty sturdy, can hold 20-pound guns, pretty easy. My ball head is Vault Outdoors ball head, and the reason I go with the Vault Outdoors ball head is because there are no knobs or anything for tension. You just turn the collet and it gets tighter and tighter. It holds the gun at any position you want it to hold in. So there's nothing to mess around with, which I like. My stocks are foundation stocks. I run them in competition and in hunting. They're great stocks. Dominic Plunkett sells them at Brotherhood Arms. Scopes, Dominic Plunkett, Brotherhood Arms. Rings, ammunition. My barrels are made by Mark Robles out of Radix Precision out of Nebraska. Makes great barrels. I shoot them in 22 centerfire competitions, hunting, great. Other than that, Hawkins bottom metals, Hawkins rings. Hawkins makes great products too. Other than that, whatever scope you can afford to shoot, that's what I would run. Gotcha. You know, whatever you can afford. But that's pretty much my setups. So I basically set up 1.5 to 1.75 inches high at 100. And the reason I do that is because if a coyote comes in quick and I know their kill zone is up above their armpits, you know, like 2 to 3 inches to center where that 3-inch circle was, I just put the crosshair in his armpits and the bullet will actually go and impact higher up into that circle. That's the reason I set up for like 1.5 to 1.75 inches high at 100. Plus, if I see coyotes out to 3, I don't have to really range a lot. I just put it on fur, center fur, and pull the trigger.
Gotcha.
So hopefully it works that way today.
Yeah. Goes according to plan. I see the farthest one, is right at just shy of 300 yards. So
yep, just shy of 3.
We'll just go ahead and engage these targets then.
So the caliber I'm shooting today is a 22 Creedmoor made by Radix Precision. It's 20-inch barrel, pretty light. So that's basically what I run, or 22 250. So here we go. I'm going to start on the Broadside Coyote. Basically, I got him. I just pretty much center up on the center of the kill zone. I don't really hold it one way or the other. I just put it center where I think I'm going to hit him. And I hit him. So on that one, I hit him a little high, but I still was inside the kill zone.
So that's with your 1.5 inch high at 100 yards.
Yeah, 1 3/4 to 1.5.
You end up a little high, but you're still in the zone even though you centered up on them.
Right. So you really don't have to think too much. And I knew I would shoot high at that because it's going to go high out to about 250 and then it's going to start dropping down. But you're still inside that kill zone. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just putting dead center of fur and pulling the trigger. So now the next one is a little different because they're facing you. I'll actually aim my crosshair at his armpits. So on the target you can see there's a little bit of fur underneath the circle and that's considered his armpits. So I know I'm going to shoot a little bit high at 150 and in, but it's different how they're facing you, how the kill zone is. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it right at the bottom of his armpits, which is still on fur, so you think you're going to shoot underneath him, but your bullet will actually rise up and hit him in the center. So here goes. Inside the kill zone. So we're good on that, right? So that still hit that little 3-inch circle.
All right, we're going out to the next target.
So then we go out to the next target. Yep, so that one I think is around 240, if I'm not mistaken. 214, okay, so basically the same thing. I'm gonna put it right in the middle of him, like he's a coyote there, and I put center fur. I shot low, I hit low on him.
Yeah, based on what you were telling me in the shot, what I see from the shot placement on that, it would be that thicker fur. They have more fur on the bottom because of gravity and their skin hanging down underneath. Okay.
Yep. So he's gone. So that one is long gone. So then I'm going to go to the next one. I'm still going to put center fur because I might have pulled that one on the second to last coyote. So here I'm going to go on this one.
You're staying on the same coyote?
No, I'm going to go to the far coyote now. So I'm going to the next target. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put center fur. And I'm going to try to keep my crosshair right in the middle of it and shoot. So here goes. So that one was an impact. That was a kill. So what happened, I think, on the second to last coyote, I might have yanked it or pulled it or not had a good trigger squeeze or something. But that will show you when we go back and look at the skinned coyotes and fur-on coyotes why that happened, why that would be considered a miss. That 215-yard coyote he'd be long gone. I burned him is what I did.
He's not happy. He's not happy with you, but he's gone.
Yeah, he probably won't come back to call for quite a while. So that's what we're looking for.
Cool.
Shots like that, hits like that on those targets, and the reason that we designed them that way, you'll be able to see.
All right, cool, awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Ken. Show you the targets in action. You can check these out and a lot of other really cool stuff at atlastargetworks.com.